The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR as we all know it, is scheduled to take full effect in May 2018. However, there are still a frightening number of business leaders who still know very little about GDPR and whether or even how it will affect them. In order to meet the GDPR requirements for secure data processing and storage, organizations must know how much sensitive information they have and where that data is stored. They then need to be able to protect it against theft or misuse and demonstrate to the EU authorities that adequate security measures are in place. So far, the focus has been very much on helping IT security professionals and cyber experts secure their organization's data. However, given sensitive information exists across functions, should they be the only ones who know what needs to be done to reach compliance? In this episode of FDE TV, we've traveled to Brussels, where we meet Steven van Hoorebeke, Chief Executive Officer, Jean-Luc Barbier, Managing Director, and Gert Beeckmans, Chief Risk and Security Officer of global payroll and HR services provider, SD Worx, where we discuss the impact the GDPR will have on the HR functions and how HR professionals can ensure they are ready for the May 2018 deadline. But first, we find out if SD Worx itself is prepared for GDPR.
Well, data has always been at the heart of our business. It's quite obvious if you are running a successful payroll and HR services business that data is very crucial. So long before GDPR, we were already heavily focusing on data protection, data security. And now with GDPR, of course, we continue this journey and we are further enhancing and enforcing the measures that we take in order to make sure that we will be fully compliant with GDPR by May 2018. So our customers can really rely on us.
From my international experience, that brings value because the law regarding the data were quite different from one country to another one. So that's a huge alignment between the countries at the European level. So for me, it's a big advantage for global company. Now they know that they can follow the same rules everywhere. That's one thing, and that brings transparency on the data, or the way we are managing data.
Are there any additional things organizations can do to help ensure they are ready for the deadline?
What we learn from the field that there is a lot of uncertainty. People, the HR professionals, they really don't know exactly what's in it for them, what they have to do. That's the reason we are really organizing a lot of information sessions, webinars, we are on congresses, we organize workshops to make sure that we really tell the people what they have to do, what their obligations are, what their responsibilities are, so that everybody will be ready by May 2018 when GDPR comes into force.
When talking to customers, I noticed there is still a lot of uncertainty in the industry on how they should prepare for GDPR. They are struggling with creating an action plan to get compliant with GDPR, and we want to help them with that. We want to take the lead in the industry by sharing information, by sharing best practices, by creating webinars on specific topics, and by helping our customers to get compliant by May 2018.
Given SD Worx has gone through the GDPR compliance themselves, how are they then able to take that experience to help other organizations to get ready too?
GDPR is bringing value at the global level. As you know, that GDPR is global rules for the all European countries. So that means in terms of alignment, the way we are managing the data locally has to be aligned at the global level. So SD Worx knows very well the way we have to align the data at the global level is one thing. In the other hand, we are also local, so we know that's the current status of the data, the way we are managing the data regarding this law. So that means we are able to bring value at the global level and at the local level, and we have to move from the local to the global level for managing the GDPR.
Well, I'm really convinced that the most important are our people, our IT people, our payroll clerks, our HR professionals. Besides that, we have also external audits like SOC 1. We are fully compliant, and that will really give the necessary assurance for our customers that we will be ready for GDPR by May 2018.
As a global payroll provider, customers trust us with their data, which is one of their most valuable assets. We want to make sure that customers can be confident that their data is safe with SD Worx. When it comes to data privacy, we want to be transparent in the way we collect and use customer data and on the measures we take to protect the data. We will continue to invest in our data security measures and will manage customer data in compliance with the law.
What are the most important aspects organizations should consider when starting their GDPR preparation process?
GDPR is all about protecting data and giving control of that data back to the people. We are therefore convinced that your most important actions should be focused on the data itself and the rights of the data subjects. Take a data-centric and people-centric approach. Be careful when you analyze and distribute data, and think about its external exposure. Know what you are processing, with whom you are sharing it, and how you are protecting it. And make sure you're able to respond to the people's rights concerning their data.
GDPR is all about giving back a bit of control to people on their data. So you must take a data-centric and a people-centric approach. Know what data you are holding and how you will protect those, and also get to know and understand the people's rights on their data and know how to explain them to people.
How exactly does GDPR impact the HR function?
For me, GDPR is not only the question for the data security team or etc. It's HR professional has to play a role because first of all, the GDPR concerns first the data of the HR. So that means they are on the first line and they have the first line in terms of concerns for them. So for me, they are reliable, that's true.
We have more and more cybersecurity problems in a data-driven world. The number of data breaches, high-profile data breaches rise, and the number of data records that are involved in those attacks as well. At SD Worx, we are therefore convinced that security and privacy measures will become more and more important than ever. We must do more to protect people's data, and GDPR can become an important catalyst in doing so.
HR professionals are working on a daily basis with people's data. Therefore, it's very important that they know what are the security measures, how to protect it, but also what are the rights of the people regarding their data. So this should be really in the DNA of the HR professionals.
What types of risks does this regulation open HR professionals up to?
If HR professionals are not taking the right measures, it can even lead to severe penalties. Having said that, we see GDPR as an opportunity because by taking much more care and protecting data can really raise the bar. And in current society where data is so vital, that's a very good thing. So therefore, we believe that GDPR will bring the entire environment, the entire society to a higher level and much better place for securing and safeguarding data.
From my point of view, GDPR is not a risk because I know that most of the clients are using provider and as us, and they are very professional. It's a risk if they are doing nothing, but nobody will do nothing on the market. I'm quite sure. The risk is more the timing than himself the project. I'm sure that all the companies are very concerned. I don't see any risk that will not follow these rules. And I think, again, that will clarify the way we are working with the personal data. And I'm quite sure that all HR professionals are very concerned and we will follow. For sure, it's an opportunity. From client perspective, that means GDPR brings an alignment internally. So That means different countries will use the same rules for using the data, and that means for me it's bringing them efficiency, alignment, and they will be more liable on their data. So that's one thing. From SD Worx perspective, also due to the fact we are global and we are local, with this alignment we can bring them value at the global level, and we can bring them also value at the local level.
The aim of GDPR is to fundamentally secure sensitive data across every function of an organization. Given the kind of personal information kept by HR departments, a cross-functional approach where HR professionals themselves are trained on what they need to do can be a crucial element in successfully reaching GDPR compliance. Whether the companies are ready now or not is still not too late, and working with HR specialists like SD Worx, who have gone through the compliance process themselves, can only help.